Hello everyone, I'm writer coach Tony and welcome back to my blog. We're in a new setting right now. It's my new room. Sorry, it's very small, it's a very tiny room. I'm planning to put some pictures here to make the room more homey. But for now, this is how it looks like, so just bear with me. So anyway, I'm doing a book review now. Uh, so I finished this book last night. This is the title, no? This is Laura Ryder's Masterpiece by Jane Hamilton. So Jane Hamilton is a writer of A Map of the World and the Book of Ruth. I haven't read both of them. Um, but anyway, I picked it up in Power Books. It's a popular in Fully Booked pala. In Fully Booked, it's a popular bookstore here in Manila. So yeah, that's the title. Jane Hamilton, Laura Ryder's Masterpiece. And if this book were a movie, this would be a comedy. No? It's a comedy um, because I find the premise very strange. There's a couple, Laura and Charles Ryder. They're compatible in so many ways, sexually at first, until they became a bit older, or after 12 years of marriage, Laura Ryder suddenly became tired of lovemaking. So, unfortunately for Charlie, um, his wife just suddenly stopped wanting him or wanting to have sex with him. So anyway, Laura introduces her friend, Jenna, not really a friend, an acquaintance, Jenna Faroli, who is popular in their area. They live in a place called Hartley, and it's a suburban place of upper middle class um, people, so married people, people with families, um, mainly white. I haven't noticed any minorities in this story. But anyway, um, Laura Ryder and Charlie run a gardening um, company, and they have a beautiful garden. I forgot the name of the garden. And then Jennifer Rowley is a popular radio host. So she meets famous people, she talks to them, and then yeah, that's her role here. But in the book, she's not described to be pretty. No, she's I should say average. And Jennifer Rowley is also married. No, she's married to a judge named Larry, who is a luminary, a legal luminary, because he writes books about the law. And again, they're married. They have one kid named Vanessa, who in the book is always complaining about her life. She's becoming a doctor, but it looks like she's not capable of handling the stresses of her life. So anyway, so that's how it is. Um, uh, so in the book, Laura um, allows her husband Charlie and Jenna to form some kind of relationship, no? So the relationship starts first as a friendly flirting, but as the two people meet, as Charlie and Jennifer Rowley meet, they find out, since as I told you earlier, um, Laura is not having sex anymore with Charlie. So um, he finds that uh, missing link in Jenna. So it's Jenna who is now providing him his needs, no? And it goes on okay for a while until it explodes towards the end of the book, no? When because they're sending letters to each other, they're sending emails to each other, Charlie and Jenna. And the funny thing is, when Charlie responds, it's not really Charlie responding always. It's the wife, no, Laura, who coaches, no, or who helps Charlie answer. So it's that's why I told you it's a bit of a comedy because it's where can you find a relationship where the wife encourages her husband to do adulterous things, no? Maybe because she feels that she lacks something, so she allows her husband to find that missing something in another man. So yeah, that's how the story unfolds, and there's an ending. Something happens in the ending, which causes the couple, Jenna and Charlie, to rethink their relationship because the cat has been out of the bag, and in a way, it was Laura all along controlling the relationship. So anyway, the book doesn't tell us what happens after the event, um, but most likely, like most marriages, it would have suffered the strain. I think the title is Laura Ryder's masterpiece because in a way she's like the puppeteer, um, guiding, not really um, making her husband and Jenny look like puppets, but she's the one egging them on to continue with that adulterous affair. And in the end, she was also the one who plants the seed for it to stop. Well, maybe it did stop, maybe it didn't, because it was, as I told you, the writer never really um, tells us that that's what happened. No? She leaves it hanging, so she lets us form our own conclusions as to what happened in the end. In my case, I think what would have happened is that Jenna, uh, they might either, yeah, they stop, Jenna and Charlie stop the relationship, or it could have led to two divorces, no? Jenna divorcing Jenna divorcing Frank, and yeah, Larry, yeah, the husband, and Charlie divorcing Laura, because yeah, that's what I think would have happened, no? If after the event that I told you, because as I said in the book, Jane Hamilton never really told us what happened after. It's a bit implied. So, although it's the scenario of the book sounds like it's sadness and like two adults, creeping outside of their marriages and doing something bad. It actually plays out like a comedy. You have these couples who are in a way bored with each other but want to stay together, and so they just look the other way when their husband and wife does something on the side. Because Larry is a very popular judge, he's also an author. When his wife, goes out of town and does some trips, he just looks the other way. He appears to be busy, and that's also the case with Laura. No, she because she doesn't want to provide the wife duties, no, of making love to her husband. She just allows Jenna to fulfill that role for her. So yeah, it's a bit kind of weird, no? But that's it. That's her character, and so she allows her husband to play around while she concentrates on her gardening business. And as I said, the title is Laura Ryder's masterpiece because she's Laura Ryder, the wife, is actually the one trying to control everything, in the relationship, and how it eventually ends. No? So, yeah, it took me some time to read the book. It's a very short book, could have read it quickly. It's just that I find the story a bit weird, no? So that's why it took me some time to finish it. So anyway, thank you very much for your time. Yes, if you're interested in relationships and a bit of funny writing, get a copy. No, it's Jane Hamilton, Laura Ryder's masterpiece. Um, And then please follow me on my Instagram, my Twitter, and my um, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Take care and see you soon.